Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. Becoming conscious under the surgeon's knife. Horrifying. People who wake up during surgery cannot tell anyone about the trauma they face. Why? As before surgery, they are paralyzed using muscle relaxant. They can feel every cut and stitch, but just can't tell anyone. That sounds like the worst nightmare one would never want to experience. But meet those people who went through this in today's video on 10 people who woke up during surgery. Number 10. Donna Penner. Back in the year 2008, a 44-year-old Canadian lady named Donna Penner needed to undergo surgery on her abdomen. She was about to get laparoscopy. Things got the perfect start. Donna was given anesthetic and laid unconscious. But things went messed up when Donna woke up earlier than expected. Penner thought the surgery was over, and then she heard the surgeon ask for a scalpel. It was just the beginning of her surgery, and she'd already woken up. But she could do nothing about it, as she was paralytic at that time. She was awake, but couldn't move. Penner felt the entire surgery. She felt the surgeon cut her open, sliding medical instruments through her abdomen, and organs being moved around. Penner thought she would die. Penner suffered throughout the entire 90-minute operation. Not only did she feel the pain of the procedure, but she also nearly suffocated. After this terrible, terrible experience, Penner struggled to move on with her life, but the stress overwhelmed her. She had to see a therapist afterward, as she was heavily traumatized.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. JASICA. This Polish girl woke up during her brain surgery. This 19-year-old teenage girl named JASICA woke up during brain surgery and asked her doctors how the operation was going. The girl was undergoing the procedure to have a cancerous growth removed from her brain. According to the doctors, she woke up halfway through the surgery when the anesthetic wore off. That sounds horrible, but then comes the twist. Her brain was exposed, but according to the surgeons, the Polish girl's health was completely out of danger. Jessica was not able to see or feel anything. Why? The reason being, the brain has no pain receptors and she wasn't in any danger. Still, this whole scene feels traumatizing. Number 8. Simon ROSENQVIST. The Sweden man named Simon ROSENQVIST had the most traumatic experience when he woke up during surgery, which was to correct a collapsed lung. He woke up during operations and couldn't move or twitch a muscle, staying awake for 35 out of the total 50 minutes of the procedure. He suffered unbearable pain, and the time operation ended, he was in severe anger. After the operation, Simon immediately filed a report to Sweden's National Board of Health and Welfare. Number 7. ALEXANDRA BYTHELL. This woman wanted her appendix to be removed, but this surgery became a horrible memory for her. Shortly after the appendix surgery began, ALEXANDRA BYTHELL's anesthetic wore off and she woke up. Her eyes were taped shut and breathing tubes were in her throat, and she just panicked. BYTHELL tried to breathe, but she couldn't manage a single breath. It was a near-death experience. Shortly after these terrible experiences, she drifted back to sleep. After asking the hospital, she just received the excuses. The staff failed to check the levels on the anesthesia machine, so she was paid an undisclosed amount for damages and her psychological trauma. As a result of this operation, BYTHELL's mental health was highly affected. She suffered nightmares and panic attacks. Later on, she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Number 6. SIDNEY L. Williams. There can never be a worse situation than waking up during heart surgery. That terrible incident happened with this man here. The man named SIDNEY L. Williams needed to undergo open heart surgery. According to the surgeon, he had a 50% chance of dying on the table. But the man agreed. After having the dose of anesthesia, Williams drifted off to sleep. But he woke up to the sound of a bow saw. At that moment, his sternum or chest bone was being opened. Williams couldn't make a sound, nor could he move, speak, or see. He was unable to inform doctors about his condition. Williams couldn't even cry, as the drugs he was given even stopped tear production. He also felt waves of pain as his heart was shocked. According to Williams, he felt like he was being buried alive. Fortunately, Williams managed to survive that terrible operation. However, he also had horrific nightmares after this, which caused him to grind his teeth so hard that he cracked several of them. Number 5. Jeannie Smith. This woman named Jeannie Smith needed to have surgery for the removal of both of her ovaries, as there was a cyst found on one of them. During the operation, Smith was given anesthesia and her surgery began. But this unlucky woman also woke up. Smith was paralyzed from the medications and she was unable to speak. All she could see was a bright light that was shining in her face. She could neither move nor speak and had no way to show the doctors that she was awake. This operation was 45 minutes long, and Smith had to endure every second of it. She was able to feel every cut and every stitch. By the end of the operation, Smith was just thankful for having only 2 ovaries. She compared the pain to a bomb exploding inside her. This time, it was the fault of the hospital staff. It was found that the anesthetic had run out during the operation, and the anesthesiologist didn't notice. Smith sued the anesthesiologist, and she was awarded $150,000 for her suffering. Number 4. CAROLYNE COOT. This woman here was also a victim of the carelessness of the hospital staff. CAROLYNE COOT went through surgery for the removal of her gallbladder. Under the effect of anesthesia, the operation began. But soon after, the line that delivered the anesthetic began to leak. The drugs wore off, and she woke up in the middle of an operation. But rather, unfortunately, the muscle relaxants worked perfectly, and Coot could not move a bit. She endured the pain of the operation, lying as a paralyzed person. Coot even tried to scream, but not a single sound came out of her throat. Unluckily, Coot's tears were also overlooked by the operators. But this woman had a slightly different fate than the others. Fortunately, movement of her body was spotted by an anesthesiologist. He even noticed her increasing blood pressure. He finally saw the leaking pipe, and he fixed it. Coot fell back to sleep. Coot faced depression and panic attacks. What would you expect from a person who felt pain and wasn't even able to stop it? Number 3. HECTOR ALONSO. This man here just wanted a simple cataract operation on his right eye, but things didn't go as he planned. During the operation, HECTOR ALONSO drifted off after he was given anesthesia, but Alonso woke up in the middle of the surgery. Luckily, Alonso informed the surgeon that he was awake, and he just begged to stop the surgery. But then the worst happened. Alonso was restrained, a piece of tape was placed over his mouth by one of the surgeons. Even he swallowed one of his teeth that knocked loose. The surgeons continued with the operation. What was up with these people? Unfortunately, even the surgery failed, and Alonso went completely blind in his right eye. Alonso filed a lawsuit against the surgeon and the hospital, claiming the surgery caused him suffering and likened his experience to torture. And now let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. Number 2. The subscriber's pick. Our subscriber picture today links us to another person who had a terrible operation experience. Carol Wearer had a scratched cornea and she spent years living in pain. She opted for permanent eye removal. Wearer was relieved that the pain would finally be over. The operation started successfully. After giving anesthesia, she fell asleep. Wearer woke up happily, thinking her pain was finally over. Then she heard someone say, "Cut deeper, pull harder." This was a terrifying moment for Wearer, as she could neither speak nor move, and she was paralyzed by the muscle relaxants. All she was able to do was to listen to the surgeons talk as they removed her eye. Wearer felt extreme tugging and then everything went black. Luckily, she felt no pain from the operation, but the feeling of helplessness was unbearable for her. Wearer suffered from nightmares after this and had to see a therapist to get back to normal life. Number 1. Chloe Kahn. Chloe Kahn experienced many surgeries throughout her life, but this one was her worst one. During a botched nose surgery, she woke up halfway through the operation. This operation went so wrong that as a result, she lost her sense of smell. And that's not it. She was unable to breathe through her nose for the next 8 months, and even had to tape her nose for stopping it from bleeding. According to her, it was just a disaster from the very beginning, as the place where she had her surgery was not even a hospital, but some house in the Ukraine. And that concludes our list of 10 people who woke up during surgery. Which one did you feel was the most terrible? Comment down below and let us know. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with our latest videos. We'll see you next time.